Hello, everybody. Come on, game. There we go. What's everybody doing? Autumn, Jake, Beth, Tal, Xblod, Possum, who else is here? Lugia, sorry to hear about your delay, by the way. Virus, what's up, dude? Is anybody else? Xblod is here. Did I say hi, Xblod? If I did not, hi, Xblod. Also, thank you to the little Google for the sub on YouTube. Hey, Pizza Met, how's it going? Buying a lawnmower tomorrow. You getting? Does your new house require one of those like bigger ones so it's not a complete pain in the ass, or can you get like a modest size one and not have to break the bank? Okay, so I am sticking with my guns in that it's one of the original 3 that I predicted, which were, for those that not catch that, Kazuichi, Gundam, Sonya. Sonya, I think, is the least likely because based on what we know what happened, it seems like it would have been kind of hard for her to pull that off just from a physical strength standpoint. Kazuichi just, I can't see him killing somebody and then getting away with it and being like, bye, Sonya. Because that dude just, I don't think he would do anything to put Sonya in harm's way. Which would leave Gundam, the thing is that I don't really, there are 2 things that actually make me suspect Gundam, or there's one thing that Kazuichi and Gundam both have that make me suspect them, and that is they were both with Fuyuhiko and were like, oh, we got alibis. And the people that are like, when they throw that out right away, to establish that makes me feel kind of sketch about them. Like, why, like, who points out that immediately that they have alibis before being prompted? Like, I don't know. But other than that, I don't really have any other reason to suspect Gundam other than I don't think any of the other people did it. So it's more of like a process of elimination as opposed to clues, like concrete clues that point me to his direction. I still think it could be Kazuichi though. So I think it's most likely one of those 2. It could still be Sonya. I just don't think Sonya could have pulled off this crime based on what we know what happened. Also, hello, Mystery. Even Monokuma would try to help you out. Man, that is a lot of despair. What am I guessing happened? So we know that the tower's an elevator. And so something happened. Something happened to make it like... So, I think they somehow utilized it going up and down to cause the trauma that got Nekomaru, because I still have a hard time believing anybody would have been able to do that to him on their own. You have the button. He had to have been in sleep mode. And another reason why it could be either Kazuichi or Gundam is Kazuichi, I think, would be best equipped to take Nekomaru out, just from like he knows where everything is and can get everything that, you know, he's the mechanic. It could be Gundam because one of his hamsters like pushed the button. I don't know if they could actually do that, but it seems like they could. They showed him pressing that button earlier, but I don't know if they could get into the little shutter thing that covers the button, so I'm not sure. I am not actually, no Xblood. I'm not sticking with my guns there. But yeah, it's still really confusing as to how they used the fact that the person knew that the buildings were on top of each other as opposed to across from each other. It's still kind of hard to figure out how they did it.
I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up. My heart's thumping like crazy. I might as well have a laid-back So what? Attitude and go ahead with high energy.
Speaking of which, I should be pretty high energy today. Whew. This is Captain Apple and some salted caramel booze of some sort. So I'm drinking a caramel apple that also has liquid.
Yeehaw! Ah, but be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons. And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
Yeah, right, Logan.
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon. Oh well, let's just press on ahead. Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily? I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Mekumaru's murderer?
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
Hello here. Imagine being in court and loudly proclaiming, well, it's not me. I'm sure it's happened before. So it's not me. So, I mean, come on. This fucking guy, right?
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying? He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I will sincerely retract that remark.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too, you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder. Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
I feel like he just dropped a, what wasn't me?
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can. Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Same.
Akane, you're drooling waterfalls?
Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not. Yo, hello, Sarah and JMT. Good evening.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
How they killed Nekomaru.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Yes. Nekomaru's cause of death, huh? He was horribly damaged, as if he were beaten senseless with a blunt object, but we know he wasn't. But if you were beaten with a blunt object, it wouldn't be a kill that utilized the building structure. So what does Nekomaru's cause of death that also utilize? What was the cause of Nekomaru's death that also utilized the building structure? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Kind of glad the game gave it to me, because he didn't get crushed by the elevator, because wouldn't he be below it then? It's this. This wouldn't cause the...
I see.
Yeah. Oh, that's
it.
interesting.
I think he might have died from falling.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Yeah, fucking Brewers couldn't pull that series out, unfortunately. Ugh, probably not gonna make the playoffs now.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
I like Cincy's team a lot, though, so congrats to you.
That I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method. Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Did you forget how the elevator
Yeah.
functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
That's aggressive.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? I'm going to reach the truth behind this incident. I need to solve that mystery next.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator...
What's Akane's account again? I need to remind myself. Okay. Rumbling noise. No.
They moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open. Which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
I need to make it clear so they understand that Nekomaru fell to his death. It's like it's all up to me.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object.
No, that's wrong.
That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Oh, you're at a beach house? That's fucking sweet. It's a great place to spend your birthday.
Could it be his sleep mode?
Also, that's fucking hysterical, Tal. That's what I was laughing at earlier. Toko would be more likely to kill you, though, unfortunately.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed it, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it.
He's talking a lot more than he normally does.
There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes.
Although that could just be because of the fewer amount of people. And thus, you have to fill in the blanks more with people that have not been as active of participants so far.
That's what I was about to explain before Kazuichi interrupted me.
That son of a bitch.
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
A way to create the drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru was still in it. Oh, he was hanging, but he has the rope, right? Jackie seems to have an idea, but what way could that be? It's all starting to come together. The game basically put it together for me that time with the falling thing. Wire. Yep.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
Oh, it's the doorknob. He put it on the doorknob.
Silence!
Because that was the one on the top floor, right?
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
Oh, God. And then the doorknob broke.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the
Yeah,
gap with
no,
any
it's true.
elevator.
There's only 8 left, so like they have to fill
So
in the
you're
blank
telling
more
us
with
all
others instead of just giving the ones who already talk a lot even more to say. That wouldn't be as
That
interesting.
arrangement is.
So that's not necessarily
The hammer is suspicious.
inherently problematic.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar
Dude, drop
again?
the pillar.
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious. I agree with that.
I'm so happy.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob,
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair. That's right. He was suspended in midair. Huh? The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Great Tower. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like.
Okay, that is something Sonya could have done, but I still suspect the other two more. Gundam's making me suspect him a little more just because he keeps talking, and I'm like, that's weird. Dolph protests too much.
You better not finish that sentence.
the killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves.
Did they really make a callback to their own bulge joke?
By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Uh-oh.
So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that. Why? If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
Radio clock.
How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that. Even...
The screws at the base are pulled out. I see. Okay.
How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? What? Nekomaru fell on his
right.
own?
It's not a contradiction.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time if you want to take it, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside.
Fuck.
Damn it!
Yeah, I
Even
need
if they
to.
suspended Nekomaru from a how would they make
I need
him
to get some
fall?
more cuts.
There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Fell on his own. Should still have been in sleep mode.
Crap! What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep. If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself.
Wow, miss one.
Even if they suspended
Fine.
Nekomaru from how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him up. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off.
Oh.
It's possible
Yeah, it's
that
the
he fell on
clock.
his
It's
own.
his clock. To wake himself up,
What?
right?
Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Nope, not that.
Crap! What? Nekomaru should have still... If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time if you want, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside...
God damn it. Oh, that's really difficult.
Damn it! Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own?
The pillar. Yep. Camera fragments.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to him. Now's the time if you want to, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru is just impossible. End of story.
Okay, so what do we have here? Wire. The wire tied to a loop. Over pillar. So heavy that even two people can budget. With fragments underneath his body. No fragments on top of his body. The alarm was set to 7:30. But he wasn't still sleeping. Apparently that's not it, even though that does actually seem like a contradiction.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Nope, that's not it.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Oh, that's not it. What the fuck? He only has two. He only has two statements that he can.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode,
Didn't mean
right?
to do that.
If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that trick. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the moving the elevator with Nekomaru is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Oh.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that trick. Now's the time if you... But in that case, you still won't be able to explain the moving the elevator with Nekomaru is just impossible. End of story.
I would think it'd be the radio. His alarm clock went off, so he wouldn't be sleeping still. But
what? Nekomaru fell on his own?
now I'm just guessing because
What?
I feel like the
Nekomaru fell
correct
on his
answer
own?
is not.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
There's only two.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
There's only two
What?
answers here.
Nekomaru fell on his own?
Really easy to figure out.
What?
At least in terms of.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? What? Nekomaru fell on his own?
Oh, God.
What?
The alarm would have
Nekomaru
woken
fell on
him
his
up.
own?
I don't get what's not correct
Nekomaru
about
should
that.
have still been in sleep mode, right?
Allow me to cut through those words.
Ooh.
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
Didn't I say that?
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
I used it! I swear to God I used it! I brought that up way earlier! Did I just not do, did I go to it and just not do it? And just not, like, cut it correctly? I swear I brought up that solution, like, 5 minutes ago. Yo, it's up. So I just had it on the clock and then just didn't use it? Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I used the clock and not the alarm. So I had the correct solution. I just wasn't using the right item. Because I picked that out once we saw it on the... Actually, I think I picked it out before that. But once we saw the evidence list, I'm like, oh, the alarm was set for 7:30.
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode.
Nah, I never dismissed it under the assumption he was asleep. I would never said that because I never ever said that I thought he was still asleep. I don't know where that's coming from. I never assumed he was still asleep because the game's obviously saying that he's not. That he wasn't. And that's how it happened.
Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why... If something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right? Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, The wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
Loader didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that ever even happened was because he couldn't open it. What are you guys talking about? Also, hello to Dreamer. How's it going? That's really what it was. Then that's the clue Nekomaru left for us to find.
I see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest.
Oh.
No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig. Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
Oh my. Oh my. Woo. Sip might not even be strong enough of a term for him.
No, I believe you gave your all.
And you were still fucking worthless.
Why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy, he gets off on this.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down.
He was all but touching himself over there. No, they don't, because their pitching's so good. Never want to face the team with awesome pitching.
That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Why wouldn't they count as mechanic? They're still working with mechanical devices. Doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. The moment Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think of that happened was collided with the pillar.
I see.
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
Oh, bless your heart, Akane. And thank you for noticing, pal. I did get cut up today. Here's looking. I did look at myself in the mirror for like 10 seconds. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but I never look at myself in the mirror.
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Oh, God. Yo, what's up, Rare? Probably get my ass whooped. Most of you are younger and have much sharper mind than I do.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Dude, I didn't want the Bucks to play the Heat when that happened. I knew that was going to be a huge problem. Didn't necessarily think it'd be like that, but they're a great coach, great constructed team. I think they're gonna get beat down by the Lakers, though.
Nah, that's impossible. Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I.
Clocks were changed.
There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
Yeah, you most certainly can blame age at some point. It is a thing that affects people. Besides, I don't think you could actually blame anything before something's happened. Well, yeah, I suppose you could. But I didn't say it would happen. Just say it was likely to happen. But I can't choke up at a time like this just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue to breaking through this contradiction. It's in the bottom of this alcoholic beverage. I'll need to hydrate more than usual tonight.
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
Killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest. That's gotta be it!
Can't mess with his,
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
But the alarm inside was set for 7.
Nekomaru died.
His time of death and the time the body was. One of those must be an illusion.
Killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock.
No, that's wrong.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
It's a likelihood, not a fact, but a likelihood, yeah. Yeah, they can just run those three out every friggin' game in the playoffs.
The clock inside Grape House?
Or every 3 games in a rotation, obviously, yeah.
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
Damn. Time-related contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. No mistake that something was done, but what is it? Perhaps we've overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. Is it time to logic dive? Think. I'll focus and think. I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Let's snowboard think, guys. Hell yeah. Oh, fuck. I didn't even get a chance to... The time in the build... It's the time in the building. Sick. Oop. That was not as good. Oh. Clock was tampered with. Building clocks. Oh! Wow, that escalated quickly. Which house had the wrong time? Both houses, right? This is so much more fun than pick letters until win. Yes, it is.
It's all coming together.
I like Logic Dive a lot.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
Or they all had the
But what
wrong
if
time.
all those clocks have been messed with?
What?
All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
He's right. That's the main problem. You need to clarify by how much the time was off after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the next mystery. You're going to reach the truth in one go.
If the time in the building... Then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
I agree with that.
I agree. If only you had heard the sound when he fell.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling
Why
noise.
wouldn't she have
anyway.
heard it? Because of the room she was in?
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our
Because he
time
didn't
is
hear it
left.
either. Were they both in the
I heard
deluxe
that
rooms?
sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
And we were sleeping across from each other, so we were both in the broke-ass room, so we both heard it.
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
That rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30 a.m. It's like the answer to how much our time is off. Oh, 2 hours.
I see.
It's literally right in front of me.
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30...
No, I've never thought, no, that's wrong in my head. At least not like this. I've not done litigation since I started playing this game, so nothing from Danganronpa would ever be incorporated to anything that I did. But yeah, no, I've literally said objection in court before. Have I yelled it? No, because yelling things like that is considered poor etiquette in real court. But yeah, objection, blah, 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 reasoning, blah, blah, you know, objection, hearsay, objection, leading question. Maybe not that nonchalant, but not yelling it like Phoenix Wright.
That means our time was off by 2 hours.
Hell yeah, Ben. Hell yeah.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Route only Nekomaru?
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're interested in. For you, Sarah, based on what I understand of what your where your preferences lie, yeah, that would be a truth. I won't say they're unattractive, but a lot of the judges that I've been in front of, have been a little older. So they might not look bad. They might look distinguished and very pretty or handsome, but they're not hot. There's one that I would say that I met that was hot. Two, although one of them wasn't technically a judge. They're like a step below. Court commissioner. Besides messing with the time, the killer also used a specific thing. They were trying to lure out only Nekomaru with a specific thing was.
I see!
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Taichi, right on schedule.
They're not ever gonna watch They Don't Care about Let's Playing Danganronpa.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early! He didn't even ask you yet!
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez! That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Huh? What's a litigator? Litigator is somebody that goes into court and litigates cases. Litigation is like the process of lawsuits, playing out a lawsuit in court.
Hey, how would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
So, think about it as having there are three subsets here. Or there's two subsets within a lawyer. A lawyer is someone that has a law degree. An attorney is a lawyer who is licensed to practice law and actively practices law. Actually, let's take a step back. A lawyer is someone with a law degree and is licensed to practice law. An attorney is someone who has a law degree, licensed to practice law, and practices law. A litigator is a lawyer who's licensed to practice law, who practices law, who specifically spends most of their time in court.
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
Yo, what's up, Winning Blade? Somebody with a law degree is just someone with a law degree, unless they're actually licensed, because I'm a lawyer at that point.
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Who is it? Who's the bastard?
Oh, Nagito? Whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time, right?
You're the only one!
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
It wasn't Nagito.
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Wait. This answers who it was. If I'm right about the room being what lets you know, like the deluxe room, because Sonya was in a deluxe room. Nagito was in a deluxe room. Neither of them heard it. Where was Kazuichi and where was Gundam? I can't remember which room each of them had. Did Kazuichi have the deluxe room or the shit room? Because Nekomaru had the standard room. Because whoever was in the deluxe room came out to the lounge without actually knowing when the sound went off or whatever, because they wouldn't have actually heard it in the deluxe room. Kuihiko was in the lounge the entire time. He was in the shit room anyways. I don't remember which one of them had the other shit room and which the other one had the deluxe room.
Please, say something.
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
Good lord.
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
You couldn't?
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me. It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
Too soon, Akane.
To be honest,
Yeah.
it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Why didn't you say that earlier?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it, but it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noise were Nagito, Sonya, and Jack. Secret is what these three have in common. Could this also be the secret that points to the killer? Alright, let's Hangman's Gambit. Deluxe. Wait. Yeah. Oh. Oh, fuck. What did I do that for? I pressed the wrong button. What did I press? Just press S? No! Fuck. Oh, the last one is S, I see.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe room, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
Yeah. Hangman's Gambit's garbage. Not as bad as the rhythm game, but Nagito's too nice and well adjusted to be the killer.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation.
That's an opinion. Why Trep isn't here? See, Trep is, I think, lives in Europe? No, or is it Asia? He doesn't live in the US. So when these streams start, they're very early in the morning. So if, let's say he had a late night or he had to get up early to do something, he has something that he has to do, he's not going to be here. It's also possible that he thought we were doing this on Sunday or Saturday instead of Friday. So he's in the Discord, so it was definitely listed that it was Friday, not Saturday. He's the prime suspect too often. He's like main antagonist. He's not going away anytime soon. Just like Byakuya was never the killer. Fucked at the crime scene once, yeah, but not the killer.
I actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve course student talent? Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
It was whoever was in the deluxe room. I don't remember which one was in the deluxe room, though.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Yeah, I put it in the announcements, like what the schedule is going to be for the week. I try to do it on Sundays. Somehow, I feel like I understand what Nagito means. Killer among us. Killer who murdered Nekomaru. Alright, so it's either Kazuichi or Gundam. I should know, because I should remember this, but I just don't. I don't think it's Kazuichi, though. It was Gundam.
You're the only one!
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Man, what kind of execution is he gonna have? Possum, is this what's the execute? Is it this chapter or the next chapter that I'm supposed to censor?
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
There's only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Not show it. Everybody was saying there was only one execution in 2 that I had to block. Otherwise the stream is gonna get taken down. But nobody ever told me which one it was.
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko. Me?
Yeah, you were awake.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right?
Oh, really? Huh? Oh, because of like the gore or whatever?
If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Mekamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room. Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Because I was in the lounge.
Good guy Fuyuhiko saves the day.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but... How ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
God, I'm so fucking hungry. I'm gonna have to I'm starving. I've only eaten once today, and it was half of a small-ass frozen pizza.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
Oh my god, that's his defense. Well, so they will kill the hamsters, or maybe they won't. But I was wondering if they'd actually get rid of Gundam because of the whole he has animals thing. Apparently, the answer is yes. But speaking of Sim, Sonya is about to be devastated. Devastated.
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Is that your argument?
Thank you.
Bastard. Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
I'm so glad somebody pointed out just how absolutely asinine that argument is.
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Oh, really?
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
I think Sonia's still single, even right now. It's just she doesn't want to be, although now.
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce. Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Damn.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it? At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
Ah, you said opening act again!
Please hold on. We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal.
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House.
I mean, if he was going full in character, then his playthrough should have stopped after this trial.
For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
In fact, he should stop the playthrough at the execution at the moment of death.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing. Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
When something is obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome. Well, if it couldn't, then it wouldn't be a contradiction. So, yeah.
That elevator was... the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return...
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
That's not true, is it?
As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator broke in at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is...
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Doesn't have an accomplice.
or if there was a secret.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
That's not it. What's the clock have to do with any of
That
the...
elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
He did have an
As long as that
accomplice.
elevator
It's
was
fucking
broken.
hamsters, right?
Your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following
No,
crime
it's
is
not that he had an
impossible.
accomplice and it was a hamster, was it?
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Nope. Okay.
That elevator was
12 o'clock.
the only means of
So
travel
I'll go down
between
at
the two
5:30.
houses. As long as that
This
elevator was
has to
broken,
do with anything right now because we're talking about
your
transportation.
assumption collapses.
Same thing here. So it has to be one of the
Plus,
clocks?
the elevator was
It's not either of these. Wouldn't it be
broken at
this?
Grape
So it has
House.
to be one of these three things. Oh, maybe it's the wall clock?
if the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator, the only means of travel between the two houses.
I think it's something between the tower. The two towers.
That elevator was the only means of travel but As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as
They saw him leave at 5:30 or 5 o'clock.
your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
There's not a secret
How much
passageway
longer
there.
do you plan to lecture
Oh,
me?
wait.
Why don't we stop this already?
Because
That
Nagito.
elevator was
So my
the
assumption
only means of
when we
travel
got to this
between the
part
two
was that we'd
houses.
have to use
As long as
Nagito's,
that elevator was broken, your
sudden
assumption
appearance.
collapses.
Plus, the elevator
but it
was
didn't appear. So I didn't
broken
think
at
about.
Grape
I
House.
was like, well, what is it
if
then?
the killer cannot
So
return to Strawberry
what if
House,
we
Since I was
take?
at Strawberry, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
What if we
It would have been
take?
different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the...
No, that's wrong.
No, there should have been
Let's
another
go.
way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist!
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
You're the only one!
Nagito, you should know.
Yo, it's
What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right? There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down... Surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Meaning the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead
Here
room?
we go. The front light was on because people dropping off the food.
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion.
Go.
If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
What did you say?
You guys are right. That's partly what's driving my hunger. I'm fucking starving, and I'm probably a little more affected than the 3 drinks I've had because I haven't eaten since like 4.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Not sure my eyes could roll back any further. All right, here we go.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
His argument is exhausting.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist,
Oh, I got
you could
2
travel
of them
through
that time.
multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
There yet.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I can't back down!
Oh, jeez.
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light! Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the octagon?
That's the only thing that...
Don't bark,
It
you
becomes-
cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light! Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind...
But oh god, you ever get a bag? You're never sure what's the top and what's the bottom. I think it's like this. All right, finish the trial. Yo, what's up? Why? Guest appearance. So normally, DoorDash doesn't ring the doorbell. They'll text you, which, you know, generally, especially considering it's 12:30 a.m. Generally speaking, I don't think I would ring the doorbell personally, because given that the person ordered food on their phone, it is reasonable to assume that they are by their phone and thus do not require a doorbell to alert them. Normally it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but now you're waking up my wife and the dog's barking and anyways. Okay, I think I know what we're doing here.
At least pray to the key which dwells in the light. Know the limits of your... You say the killer went to the octagon? Don't bark, you cur!
No.
You don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion. Know the limits of your own reasoning.
Oh, the wire.
You say the killer went to the octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom...
Allow me to cut through those words.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body. The hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door in the tower. Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the octagon. There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the octagon.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
It seems this is the end. Normally we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act, so I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what are you...
First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building, Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken by that point. Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out
I love
the
that they're giving him the
elevator was
music too.
Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties, but even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay? Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru, so by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me! Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
It appears I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
That's
do you
what
intend
he
to
said
do?
when he was drunk?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button. However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Just as I thought, truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument, it was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitation.
Too dumb to die
That's
category?
wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Foolproof waifu.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat. First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
I guess you really don't want to admit it. And just as you requested, we'll go into a rhythm battle. I'll provide an argument that'll leave you no choice but to be persuaded.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
Ah. 4 Dark Devas. Die.
Pressure. Show me the cadaver! Amen! Show me the
The
cadaver!
Dark 4 Devas.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind?
This is the end! Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck.
The Dark Devas 4!
As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh? Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundam. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved a piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right? Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Mekamaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of
Yo, what's up, everybody? Coming in from Just in Time Officials Raid. Committing stream sin by eating on stream because I've been drinking a lot and not eating a lot. So yeah. There is Just in Time's Twitch channel. Make sure to go check him out. He's a variety streamer, and by variety, I mean variety. I mean, like, I'm just gonna play Danganronpa all night. He will play many games in one evening. Truly a god gamer. Yeah, I should have cut him off earlier. What were you playing today, dude? So one of the problems with my raid alerts, and I don't know how to fix this well enough. Maybe what it is getting the clip at the right volume. But like, so it'll end up coming through the desktop volume and the desktop audio and the Streamlabs audio, so that I can hear it and not miss it. Because if I could just make it come through Streamlabs, but then I won't be able to hear it myself and I might miss it. Boy, is that embarrassing. Spellbreak, Marbles, and Lucius. How is Spellbreak? I've heard that game is super interesting. For those that don't know, Spellbreak is a battle royale, but with like mages instead of like first-person shooters. It sounds pretty awesome. It's free too. I haven't played it yet though, but I've heard some good things about it.
Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands!
Alright, so for those that are coming in on Justice Raid and don't know, this is Danganronpa. This is Trial 4, the second game. We have cornered the killer and now must provide our closing arguments. I would explain it, but the game's gonna do a better job of explaining what the fuck just happened for me. What time does that say? 2:40? What? That hint is misleading. Ryuhiko saw 5. Here.
Here's everything that happened
Alright,
in this case.
Listen to this shit.
Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime. First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House.
Alright, good night, Tal. Also, fuck you, Chris.
Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House Lounge.
Oh yeah, that's right, Autumn. You've been playing it. I don't know, I might download it. It sounds really interesting. Should give it a shot. Need to break myself away from COD for just a little while.
And set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final dead room. This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building. On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Grape Tower for a specific reason. There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m., but by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Taichi begins. Nekomaru went to Grape Tower to participate in that. However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Grape Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer was waiting for him there. With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck. This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile. From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon. First, they set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up. Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob. After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall. They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending. And Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful. And placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage. So they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others. When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up. He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob. But because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking.
Dude, these wings are bomb. Fucking bomb. You probably had this place, right? The one that uses the place that uses the lemon pepper dry rub. Can he just sneak back when the alarm rung? So yeah, it's interesting because it seems like the whole case relies on two, what the game considers to be the most crucial pieces of evidence. One is that he shouldn't have been able to hear what happened in the deluxe room. So why he couldn't hang back, let them run to the alarm clock, and then sneak back is kind of beyond me. That's probably what I would have tried doing if I were in his situation, because then he could have gotten to the deluxe room and it wouldn't have been an issue. Maybe he didn't realize that the deluxe room had all that soundproofing though. But I mean, you'd think he had to have, right? Just being in there. The second thing is that he was such a show-off with his fucking hamsters that he had proved that the hamsters could touch a button. If he just doesn't show off, like, how could they ever prove that the hamsters could do that? Never had it on shrimp, but yeah, it seems like it'd be really good. But yeah, in answer to your question, 1 to 11, or 1 to 10, the answer is 11.
Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself!
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that.
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
This result isn't all that exciting. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote.
Yeah, Possum, it's the safer route in that doing that doesn't cast suspicion because they wouldn't know, right? And if he tried to sneak past and got caught, that would seem very weird. But unfortunately for him, this option was also much more risky in terms of if anyone figured out that the people in the deluxe room shouldn't have been able to hear it, then that like kind of fucks him there. But yeah, what I was saying before is I thought I did better last time, or than I did last time, and I still got a B. Those 65s and 57s, children, don't let up on any tests because your hundreds suddenly fall to 80s overall.
Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Please pull the lever! Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part! Yahoo! Yah-ha! Nice!
Now then. Jeez.
Fall, my tears. Listen well. How pitiful.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
Fine.
Damn it!
This, too, must be the will of causality.
You.
Congratulations!
Let's make history.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
thanks for the $5, JMT, for telling me my mic is muted. Why? I swear to God, I pressed the button. Oh. Oh. Hashtag JMT's, yeah, for being the mad lad that he is, just to give me notice that my mic was muted. Thanks, dude, I appreciate you. Alright, hold on. Where did I mute? From like the beginning? Ugh, it'd be bad if I bit my tongue again, so I'll speak slowly. Judging from the results, you guys were correct once again. Getting 4 in a row without any mistakes is a splendid achievement. That's right, the one who killed the robotic Nekomaru in the amazing Funhouse was Gundam Tanaka. Yay! I said all that without biting my tongue. Now that we've decided who the killer is, let's do the execution already and get this over with. Hold on, it's true the class trial is finished, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. We can't finish it until we hear it from Gundam. No matter what he says, it won't change a thing. Well, I have no right to stop you either, so do whatever you like. Why do you want to talk to one who is lost? The loser merely leaves. It would just be unnecessary for me to say something, is what I would like to say, but for honor's sake, I shall correct one thing. Correct? You guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him. That, however, is a great mistake. Huh? Nekomaru did fight, that is no mistake, and because he fought, he lost. And died. Lost and died? If he was just trying to cling to life, there are many ways he could have done so. However, he did not allow that. What do you mean? Explain. Fine then, I shall reveal it all. Within the final dead room, I discovered the secret of the Funhouse, and I devised a killing plan utilizing that secret. By tampering with all the clocks in the building, I succeeded in luring Nekomaru to the tower. This is what happened. Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say I expected as much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation, and we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away or even called for help, but he did not turn his back to me. Instead, he chose to fight that risked his life and death. Or that risked life and death.
That is...
Fight that risked life and death?
Let me tell you,
he was serious too. He gave it his all to try to kill me.
Huh?
If I had died instead, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, went to the tower by myself.
I can see it!
Nobody would know that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing.
Could it be?
Nekomaru really did that?
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
This scorching, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this. This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a great one.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka. Heroes, Lords of Darkness, and even the gods themselves flee from me. I need not cling to any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance.
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid!
Yeah. I mean, I see where they're going with this, but I don't quite buy it either, at least not from Gundam's side. I would buy it from Nekomaru's side, though. Yo, what's up, Mike? The telenovela that the ladies at work always used to hog the TV in the break room. Rosa de Guadalupe.
In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might. I won't go easy on you. Don't even think about holding back. Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics. Give me everything you got.
Well, Possum, you essentially lost both of the characters that did that, right? I mean, Sonya still kind of does it, I guess.
Nekomaru Nidai, your blood will drench the foundation of my empire!
That is...
Why? Why did you fight? We're all friends. Why couldn't you stop this? Even if both sides agreed, it was still wrong.
I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you.
Let me tell you this.
However, I must say this. What's the point of living if you're just waiting until you finally die?
You weakling!
There's nothing courageous about that. That is abandonment, a mere feeling of resignation.
Fall, my tears.
Ever since we were locked inside that building, everyone had been dominated by that feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up.
If you flinch, you will die!
Give up on life, that's just an insult to life itself.
Let me ask.
Have you fools heard of the term dog eat dog?
Cannibalism?
Fine.
In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism.
Listen well!
That is what it means to live. You say killing for the sake of living is evil. What would you call giving up on life itself?
I shall engulf this world.
Oh, the sneeze didn't come out. Now my nose burns.
If a world would consider that justice, then I will fight that world with every last fiber of my being. Giving up on life and choosing death is nothing but a blasphemy toward life.
I renounce you!
It is a violation of the natural order. It is the arrogance of humanity.
You saying all that just to try to justify what you did?
But it sounds like Nekomaru felt the same too. That's why they fought, right?
Damn it.
Yeah, so it used to be a warning and then a ban, but it started getting so annoying during the first game's playthrough that now it's just a zero tolerance policy. You get timed out. So I guess that's your warnings, you get timed out. Then you'll get banned if you do it again. Well, that's not exactly true. If it's some rando, then I think my mods know to ban immediately. Because why would a rando come in and do that just for the sake of doing it? We don't really want them around anyways, right? JMT whacks you with his wrench until you stop moving. JMT's sitting there like... Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means, Mike. Yo, what's up, Max? Did you end up playing Among Us last night? Yeah, sure, and I understand that, but it wasn't noble. He was fighting for his own life, which is fine. Yeah, Mike, spoilers. Yeah, I mean, if it was a regular viewer and it was obvious that it was accidental, then it would just be a timeout. But like, there have been people that come in randomly just to spoil something. It's like, why would we bother giving them a second chance? They're obviously here just to antagonize. Yeah, we're doing Among Us tomorrow on the channel. Oh, you didn't? Oh, it sucks. Those comments are fine. People die? Oh my god. Time out. Time out. Rare, why would you do such a thing? Probably around 10:30 my time. So is ASU in Mountain Time or Pacific Time? It's Mountain Time, you know, it's an hour. You're an hour behind. And if it's PST, then it's 2 hours. Yeah, JMT, just we started. It'll be 11:30 Eastern for you. That is probably the most ridiculous term for boobs I've ever seen, by the way. So congrats to that. Tip of the cap if I had one on. Bonghanagalungas. Bonghanagalungas. That's something. Yeah, I mean it'll start around the same time as my normal streams do. My time zone is central, so for me it's 10:30. Trip. You've been watching Star Wars. What Star Wars you be watching these days? Oh, just because. That cool. I love Star Wars. Obviously, I always endorse that. I just thought there was like something specific that was happening. I'm like, wait, what? Well, sure, it can be noble to him, but noble in a more objective sense generally applies to others as well as how your actions affect others as well as yourself. And to hit in that sense, from an outsider's perspective, there was nothing noble about it. It would have been one thing if, like, they tried to murder each other, and then whoever murdered them, the other, would have been like, I killed them, kill me now, just so that the others could get out. That would be noble. If they like, told each other, hey, let's fight. Neither of us want to be here. We can get everyone else out. Let's have one last battle, and then whoever wins tells them who did it. Now, that's very unlikely to happen, but that would be some semblance of nobility. Mike, you're hurting my brain. Oh, you've been on a marathon. Season 2's not out yet, right? Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think your boob size determines your personality. Nor do I think should they. Oh, sure. I mean, yeah. All right, let's see what else happens. October 30th. Okay. Yo, what's up, George? Well, right. Right. No, I understand from a gameplay perspective. I'm glad he did what he did so that we could have a trial. Otherwise, it would be very boring because it's like, oh, we know who did it. Trial's over. But I'm just talking about strictly from was it noble that he did what he did standpoint.
Fine.
That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That is why he challenged me to our battle. Regardless, as I've already said, I do not intend to force my values upon you fools. I have betrayed you all. That is the absolute truth.
My tears.
But even so, don't you think it's a better alternative to slowly starving to death here?
Oh.
That belief is why you committed your crime.
You...
Hey, what about the final dead room? Did you do the Russian roulette too?
Let's make history.
Unlike Nagito, I only did it once, but compared to my battle with Nekomaru, that was mere child's play.
I could believe that.
Well,
You know, after listening to you talk for a while, I'm starting to think that, well, it's also because you unexpectedly admitted your crime without much resistance.
What are you talking about? He was resisting, like, way too much. He had terrible arguments because he was already dead to rights. Gundam, don't tell me you didn't sacrifice yourself for our sake, did you? No, he didn't. Because if he were, he would have told you at the very beginning. Should not be construed as a sacrifice by any stretch of the imagination.
Can't believe you would ask such a foolish question, because obviously if I did, then I would have admitted to my crime immediately.
My name is Gundam Tanaka!
Just who do you think I am? I'm Gundam Tanaka, history's greatest monster. My cursed existence is feared by all mankind. There's no way I'd sacrifice myself for the sake of you fools.
Fade like dust in the wind.
Not in a million, not in a billion, not in 10 billion, 10,000 billion years. What? In the name of pandemonium, it is impossible.
Is that it? Then I'll just leave it at that.
Now then, let us be rid of this foolish talk. It's about time the fun started. Monokuma, let us begin.
It's pretty bad. He's facing death like a badass, I'll give him that.
Yes, indeed.
Yay! Got it. I have prepared a special punishment for the ultimate breeder, Gundam Tanaka. Please wait. This is just too much.
I beg of you.
I loved him. Please, Monokuma, please help Gundam.
Huh?
Oh, Miss Sonia?
I beg of you.
Jesus, Sonia.
How pitiful.
Sonia, as an act of unrefined, as an act as unrefined as stopping a man from going to his death does not befit a noble such as yourself.
Gundam. Is it fine to start for reals? It's fine to start for reals, right?
Fine.
Yes, I do not mind. However,
What is it, my four dark devas of destruction? Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared four dark devas of destruction, that is not like you at all. However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor.
Nor should you, Mike. Do I like this one more or the first one? I think this one has had overall stronger trials. And the characters are a little more dynamic. So I'd give the edge to this one. I'm probably gonna feel stronger about that down the line, but that's all I can say for now since I haven't finished this one. The upsides to the first one is I think the protagonist is better. I think the co-protagonist, so to speak, is a little better. But again, Kyoko wasn't all that great initially until later, so that could completely change with Chiaki, who I'm assuming is the co-protagonist. And I also still think that Chapter 1's Murder and Trial were better, at least story-wise, in the first one than in the second one. Just got more impact from it. But yeah, mostly everything else for the second one is better.
I was simply visiting for a moment, and now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness.
Just the trial from Chapter 2 alone is probably the greatest in the series so far. Compare how much he resisted to the others. I mean, he had that one argument that I'm like, why did you even bother opening your mouth? Like, even Hajime was like, is that really your argument? And if the main character's like, is that really your argument? In a trial game, then you're fucked. Chest size? Okay. Okay. So this is the end of Trial 4, so we have one more chapter left. Yeah, I agree with that, Adamski. I don't buy it. Like, I just think it was... This just somebody trying to salvage their own reputation before they die. Godly power hamsters, but they hold back. I would never thought I would hear the phrase by the power of hamsters before, so this game did that.
That is why, until the very end, pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing.
Oh no, dude. The whole way that trial unfolded was really good. Really good. The end was by far the most sad thing that's happened in any of these games to me. Even like Sakura's suicide wasn't as sad as the end of Trial 2. I'm not getting into another broad conversation. Dude, you started it. You have to be there for the end, right? New Black Ops. It looks good. I didn't have a chance to play the alpha though. Like that Miami map looks really good. I'm glad that it's going to keep Warzone so that I can actually buy it and still play Warzone, and Warzone will be supported. This trial was good. This trial was good. I don't think it's better than 2, but I do think it's good. It's probably the second best. I guess the thing is, I was more angry at the end of 2-2, which, for me, I'd prefer to be sad than angry. So that's part of the reason why I enjoyed the story of 2. Oh, no, you're saying 2-2. Yes, gotcha. I thought you were saying, for some reason, I thought you were talking about 1-2. That's one of the big reasons that 2-2 goes above 1-2 in my book.
Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam Tanaka! I shall stick with my evil until the very end! Open sesame pandemonium! I shall fill hell with true hell!
I shall fill hell with true hell. That's one of the most interesting lines we've had in this game so far.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Hoping zombies is good. I'm sure it is. Is there ever been a Black Ops game or a Call of Duty game in general where zombies was bad? They generally put a lot of work into that. Wow. I am shocked that Monokuma allowed him to have such a, like, that's the kind of death he wanted, as opposed to, like, Celeste, who was denied the death that she wanted. I am very surprised. That was cool. Good for him. He's happy with the way he went out, well, relatively speaking. I half expected Monokuma to, like, stomp on his hamsters, too. Well, because nobody thought he was ever going to hell. One of the big things that surprised me here, I expected the game to, like, have him turn into a sniveling crybaby once he was, like, discovered, but no, he's stuck with his delusions. Yeah, with the stampede, but after he was dead, is that spell always going to protect them? Like, he walked up behind the hamsters at the end. I expected him to, like, mallet them. YouTube lag. Gundam. Like, Monokuma could absolutely have killed those hamsters in the end. He just chose not to. Which is what's surprising. But did he really want to go to hell, or is that just his front? I tend to not believe that people like that actually want to go to hell. That's just their, what? Chinibyo? It's a front. It's not how they really feel. It's their escape from reality. All right, later, Beth. Have a good night. Gundam. No, no. Even after Gundam is gone, the spirit of his parting words still lingered deep in our chests. Don't give up on life. Did I misunderstand what he meant? Then what's the right thing to do? I don't know. No matter how much I think about it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to answer that. Damn it! I'm so pissed off. I need to throw something.
Damn it!
We all spend so much time worrying about each other. And thanks to that, things ended up like this. You're all so full of shit, every last one of you. The biggest piece of shit is me.
Worst.
Why am I so weak?
Oh.
Such a downer, clearly. But still, even though we feel this way, we still gotta do our very best.
You are right.
This time around, we must move forward. We must continue to live and believe in our friends. If not,
You are right.
Gundam will most likely crawl his way out of hell, and I presume he will be very cross with us. You're right. We shouldn't just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this. For the sake of our friends who have died, we need to finish this once and for all. So, don't just stand there. Stand up and walk. Move forward and live. Don't. Everyone who fought and died will die. Can't allow that.
Hey!
So, how long are you guys gonna stand around chattering? The class trial is over, so it's okay for you to hurry back to Jabberwocky Island. However, the killing school trip will proceed as usual, so make sure you know that.
Wait!
Hold on. How much longer are you gonna keep doing this? Seriously, how long is he gonna keep doing this? How long is this going to continue?
Now then.
I basically just said the same line over again for no reason. Alright, after feeling down for so long, I finally feel refreshed. Let's hurry back and eat some food.
Hey!
Hold on a sec, that mood shift is too damn fast.
Not like that.
Well, you know, it's like Gundam and Nekomaru said. That's what it means to live, right?
Huh.
Yeah, she's certainly something else. Seriously, I'm starving.
Hey.
Then let's go back for now and eat. And then after we're full, let's sleep as much as we want.
Right?
And then let's do our best again. Yeah, you're right. Depends on if you took him just as Chunibyo or actually having a mental disorder. Okay, that's interesting. I always perceived it as the former, not the latter. Is there something to suggest that it's actually like a mental disorder as opposed to that? All right, later, JMT. Have a good night, dude. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for the dono, sir. Appreciate you. Yo, what's up, Adrian? Alright, I'll check it out later, Possum. Let's Gundam's VA. Nice. I follow him on Twitch now. There's 2 chapters left, so I don't think so, but... With this, the class trial has come to an end, and once again, we return to Jabberwock Island. Come on. Get in there. The size of our group had definitely diminished, but despite that, even if it was just the rest of us, we did our best to stay upbeat and have fun together. Of course, our optimism was only superficial, but at that moment we were able to forget about the dark despair looming before us. However, the only thing I was worried about was him. He wasn't there. He suddenly disappeared from our sight. Yep, I'm definitely lucky. I never expected to obtain so many valuable things from a simple game of Russian roulette. Thanks to that, I was able to learn the identity of our true enemy. And before everyone else, too. It's just too funny. I mean, no one could tell I was lying. There's no way that the file had just Hajime's information. Of course it didn't. That would be idiotic.
Well,
I guess they were too busy with other matters. Or maybe they've reached their limit. Regardless, I was saved. Things would get complicated if they found out. Anyway, I can't forgive this.
Damn it.
This should never be forgiven. There's no way I can let this run loose. I'll be the one who stops this once and for all. Even if it costs me my life.
It's obvious.
For the sake of hope, I cannot ignore this.
Monokuma appears!
Alright, Monokuma has arrived. Who summoned me?
Now then.
Thanks for coming.
What's this?
Why, it's the lonely little Nagito. Are you all alone tonight, too?
What's the matter?
So what's up? Your face looks scary. I see, so you can tell. Perhaps you found out who the traitor is. You know me well.
Wow.
It's what I'd like to say, but unfortunately I haven't learned that yet. I see. So even you don't know, huh? Looks like the final showdown is gonna take a little more time.
Hello.
So, So why'd you summon me anyway? Were you finally gonna confess your love?
Hey.
I summoned you because there's something I really need to ask you. It's about the special prize from the final den room. Oh, yeah? What about it? There was information about 16 people in the file I received. But isn't that weird?
Say what?
What's weird?
You don't even
Well,
know?
there's a traitor from the Future Foundation hiding among us, right? Including that person. The total number of students would be 16, right?
Isn't that right?
But this file contains documents that were created at Hope's Peak Academy.
Of course.
That's right. I just reused the stuff that the former headmaster spent a lot of time making. If this file even contains information about the traitor, Is that person also a former student at Hope's Peak Academy?
Who knows?
I wonder.
Hey,
Could it be? Is this your doing? Did you slip false information into the file? Are you trying to keep us from learning the traitor's identity by obtaining this information? What's wrong with that? If it's my job to heat things up, it's okay if I do something small like that, right?
well,
That's not my point.
right?
My point is you already know who the traitor is. What's wrong with that?
You're getting all riled up.
Well, you're splendidly correct when you say I knew who the traitor was all along. But even though I know who it is, why do you think I ignored it on purpose? It's just like Monami after losing her magic stick. The traitor's existence means absolutely nothing to me. Their existence means nothing, huh?
No.
Well, that's just how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel somewhat different. After all, that person is the evil future Foundation lackey who's putting you guys through this awful stuff. That's not entirely true. I didn't really come here to fight or anything like that. Indeed, I came here to offer my cooperation, you know? Cooperation?
Hey,
Your purpose is to fulfill everyone on this island with despair, right? That's why you're intentionally letting the traitor do as they please, right? Yep. If that's the case, I might be able to cooperate somewhat too.
right?
However, in exchange, I want to know who the traitor is. I see. Interesting. Very interesting.
No.
Obviously, that's a big no-no.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I want to make everyone in your group feel despair. That includes you too. Well, I knew you would say that. Besides, I just wouldn't be able to handle the sadness when you inevitably betray me later on. Just as I thought, you saw right through me.
You're right.
No matter what situation I find myself in, my core way of thinking will never change. In order to create absolute hope that shines brightly, stepladders such as myself in despair exist. You're right. You're a true believer of hope after all. I must say, that belief reminds me of that person for some reason.
Huh?
Reminds you? I don't know who you're talking about, but if someone as worthless as me reminds you of some other person, they must be extremely unlucky.
Like...
But you're just as unlucky, right? I mean, the fact that you're even involved in something like this. Am I? I actually think I'm very lucky.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you say that coming across this much despair is a rather rare opportunity? I can't rely on anyone on this island. That's why I have to be the one who does it. If I can eliminate despair from this island, I won't be a stepladder anymore. I'll become true hope. I'll become an existence that could even be called ultimate hope. The two of you are alike. You definitely remind me of him.
Hey,
There's one more thing I want to ask you.
see?
Who are you waiting for on this island? Looks like I'm right again. You're definitely waiting for someone on this island. Is that person you're waiting for already on this island?
Hey,
Well, answer my question.
That's...
If that's the case, if that person is already on this island, wouldn't that be exciting? Ooh. Yo, what's up, Easy? How's it going, dude? In.
Danganronpa.
So, no, I don't have any idea. I have some random guesses. I guess I do have an idea, but I don't think it's correct. My guess would be that there's more information about the Future Foundation than he let on, and so they don't know he doesn't know who the traitor is, but he knows like what the Future Foundation is and what they've done, and that apparently whatever that information is creates a huge problem, or like solves a mystery or some shit. But yeah, if it's Makoto coming down all badass, that'd be super awesome. But yeah, he obviously doesn't know who Makoto is because, like, he didn't find out too much about the other students because then he'd probably know who he was talking about, who Monokuma was talking about, or at least have an idea. Yep, I was right. I think I was right about the pictures too, wasn't I? I'd have to look at it again. Just like before, our day began with us all gathering at the restaurant. You know, every time we meet up here, it makes me realize just how crazy this whole situation is. The restaurant certainly feels more spacious than before. Of course, it feels spacious. There are less than half of us here now than there were at the beginning. Of course, that's obvious, Hajime. Is that something you really need to just blurt out?
Stupid fool!
Oh my!
Is that Nekomaru? Huh? Did you hear something?
Hey!
It's Nekomaru. That was Coach Nekomaru's voice. What are you talking about? He's no longer.
What's up?
I'll beat you up!
What are you laughing about? I'll beat the crap out of you if you keep grossing me out like that. That's not cool. I was up all night working. My fingers are the best.
I am concerned.
More importantly, I'm starting to get tired of the seasonings in this restaurant.
Jeez.
Seriously, I'm starting to realize how valuable territory is. Don't ignore me. I'm trying to talk to you about something important.
Huh?
Important?
All right.
This took me all night to make it.
My!
Is that a Nekomaru doll?
Doll, I'm Mini-Maru.
Mini-Maru? Took some parts from him to make it. What do you think? Awesome quality, right? Of course, it doesn't have free will or anything, so it's more like, you know, a toy. Isn't it freaking adorable?
You serious?
Oh.
Thanks.
It's so cute. Thanks, I'll keep it.
Well...
Oh, I never said anything about giving it away.
I'll beat you up!
Don't be stuck up. Your stuff is my stuff, right?
Whoa!
Whoa. Hey now, that's a bully's logic.
Man.
Well, it doesn't matter. I made this to cheer you guys up anyway. And as long as we have it, we won't forget, you know, Nekomaru's sacrifice for us. We're standing here today because of him. So if we're gonna prevent something like that from ever happening again,
Engines revving.
I guess we gotta fight too, right? We can't just keep running away. I gotta admit, I never thought I'd hear you say something that awesome. Of course. In the end, Gundam told us to never give up on life. So I will never give up. So I will never give up. I shall fight until the very end. Gundam, please watch over me.
Miss Sonia?
What'd you think of my little pep talk?
Oh my!
Hey, did you say something?
Are you kidding me?
I was up all night memorizing that speech.
Jeez.
There's the punchline. Really like this. Thanks, Kazuichi.
I am Mini-Maru.
Man.
I'm only half as happy to be thanked by you.
That's right.
Oh, by the way, you can also use that to massage your sore muscles and pressure points.
You serious?
That's amazing.
Of course.
That is fucking amazing. Of course, I made it after all. Seriously, thanks. I'll take good care of it. Kinda looks happy.
Hey.
Anyway, what happened to Nagito? I haven't seen him like I usually do. Don't have to worry about that guy. He goes solo all the freaking time. But still, I'm a little worried about how he's acting during the last class trial. Well, he's always been a dangerous bastard, but he's crossed the line, you know?
Hey.
That's even more reason we should avoid him.
But still...
But even if we do avoid him, what are you gonna do if he approaches us? Nagito's sudden change was really weird. I wonder, did he figure something out that we're not aware
Now
of? Anyway, Hajime, isn't it about time you told us what that was all about? Huh? That? You know, Nagito said during the trial.
Hey, bastard.
What do you mean by except for Hajime? You're really the traitor after all? No, it's not like that. I didn't really want to say it, but I guess I have no choice. To tell you guys the truth, unlike the rest of you, well, apparently I was never part of Hope's Peak Academy's primary department. I'm a reserve corps student from the reserve department.
Huh?
Reserve department means, unlike you guys, I don't have an ultimate talent at all. Apparently, I'm just a normal person. That all? What? That's it? Dude, don't even scare me like that. That's something I can just brush off, especially since it's about me. I thought I just forgot. I thought I got into Hope's Peak Academy because I had talent all along, but shit. My whole life, I just wanted to feel confident about myself, and I thought getting into Hope's Peak Academy meant I had finally become someone I could be proud of, not some fucking backup student.
Right?
Cheer up, Hajime. It doesn't matter if you're from the reserve department.
Of course!
She is right. No matter what, you are a friend. You know, there is a saying in Japan. Fear is grateful for the danger.
Hey,
The hell? You're saying that all wrong. Yikes.
So everyone was here. It was a real close battle.
I am sorry.
I apologize, I was trying to cheer you up, but I ended up saying the wrong thing.
No, it doesn't matter. Stuff is just hard to say sometimes.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe you can't see me?
Huh?
Whoa, what the heck? You're covered in blood.
Oh, you saw me. Yeah, that's right. The Mono Beast this time was very strong.
You?
Gross, don't get close to me. Get out of here.
No gratitude, I'm being treated like filth.
Hey.
Hey, why don't you clean that blood off? We're trying to eat. Ah, yes, I'm ashamed of myself.
Ding, 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 ding.
Here we go. Now then, allow me to report you all once again. After a fierce battle that's never been seen in history, I finally succeeded in conquering the last Mono Beast. Because of this, it's finally possible for you to travel to the final island.
I see.
What a thin reaction. It's like I'm surrounded by tons of shabu shabu from an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Don't tell me this again. You're gonna say stuff like, it's not like we can get off this island. Why bother going to the new island?
Well, it's true that I don't really expect
don't
much.
misunderstand.
But who said we weren't gonna go? Obviously we're gonna go, dumbass.
So,
Assuming we were thinking about running away was a mistake.
I'll show you my serious
Because
side.
if we can't run, we'll fight. I'll crush everyone who puts through this crap in one blow. I'll crush everyone who put us through this crap in one blow.
Hey!
Wait, seriously? That fearsome group is called World Ender for a reason, you
What
know.
are you saying?
Why, did you forget what you said earlier?
Hey!
Dumbass, I always said that because I was trying to impress Miss Sonia.
What?
Don't brag about that.
Down.
You have the power to fight among yourselves, then direct that power toward our enemy.
All right.
Now then, let us go forth. Defense is the best defense.
Damn right.
You're right. Now's not the time for us to be bickering. I don't really get it, but when Miss Sonia talks like that, my blood starts to
All right.
I'm getting pumped up. Let's charge our way to that new island.
Starting to get pumped up.
The Future Foundation, Monokuma, Monami, I'll crush them all at once.
Even me? You guys seem reliable.
Don't talk like you're not included. You're our friend too, you know.
You're right.
Leave it to me.
I gotta do my best too.
Hey! What do I think of Monami? She's just there now. I mean, she's a plot device, right? So, I mean, she's necessary, but I don't know. Monokuma's better, obviously. Wait for Sonya to say faux show again? Let's not wait for that. As we left the restaurant, the expressions on our faces were clearly different than they were before. They were filled with strong will and determination. Armed with that, we began walking toward the last island, but the clouds in my heart still lingered. I couldn't stop thinking about the reserved apartment, and that filled me with this strange, uncomfortable feeling, like a small bone was lodged in my throat. But I tried not to think about it, because you know what? None of that fucking matters at this point, because we're not at Hope's Peak Academy, and the situation is much bigger than just, stop being a little bitch, Hajime. God, he's annoying me. Try to stay focused on moving forward. Chapter 5. The Mono Beast gone, we crossed the 5th bridge and arrived at the final island.
So this is the last island.
Enormous buildings towered everywhere, as if the entire island were one big gigantic city. Felt very sci-fi, as though the island was a snapshot of an urban metropolis from a near
I guess
from
it
the
has
near
an
future.
ambiance befitting of a final island.
remember I need to make sure I check that out more frequently.
No.
That wasn't even hidden. He was right fucking there. I have a lot of coins. I was wondering who was lured here by the smell. I expected Akane though, not you. I wasn't lured by the smell or anything. Anyway, whatever. Looks like this street is full of food vendors, but as you can see, there's no customers or staff. Only the food is here. Normally a street like this would be bustling with activity, but there's no one here. It's actually pretty creepy. Think about it. Is it supposed to be making that graphical glitch? White smoke is billowing from the building in the back. Is this some kind of factory? It's got Monokuma's face on it. I'm sure it's a shady factory anyway.
Hajime.
Good timing. What's up, Chiaki? This building clearly looks suspicious, right? I was thinking it might be good if I thoroughly look around inside, but...
Well?
Whoa! Whoa! Did you guys see that? What happened on the screen? Did it just go black? I don't know. Something wigged out with the graphics. Like, my whole screen was going crazy.